inform me. I would really like to get your input. Welcome once again, as I said, to our presentation slide for the January Canada Immigration Masterclass, which we termed the JAPA, the monthly JAPA Masterclass. We always have this masterclass, or I would say we started having this masterclass this year, the year 2023. This is going to be our first masterclass for the month of January 2023. And it's going to be coming up every last Saturday, 5 p.m., every last Saturday of the month. So we would have one as we are having January. We are going to have another one by February up until the end of the year, God willing. So today we want to talk about some crucial topics. And for those that have always been on our email list, you would have gotten series of emails regarding this masterclass. But before we talk about what we have for you today, I want to first of all introduce myself so that I get to know, you get to know me. And likewise, I would like you also to write on the chat section so that I know that we actually have some attendees amongst us now. So that being said, the very first thing I would like you to note is myself. Who is A.O.S? Who is Aziz Ola Shoderu? The initials A.O.S stands for Aziz Ola Shoderu. And apart from that, we also have some wonderful acronyms for A.O.S, which is Academy of Scholars. But apart from that, it is just the acronym of my names. So, who is A.O.S briefly? I'm a successful Canada immigrant, and I've helped series of Canada immigrants. I've been representatives of tens of visa applicants, both for the study visa, for the permanent residency, and even that of work visa. I have started this roughly for about years now, a couple of years now, and we have had wonderful success stories of people that have gone through our own representative support or services. Now, secondly, I'm also the creator of the JAPA Easy Fast Track package, which is the package for those who would love to be part of the Canada immigration processing. For instance, if you are just starting your processing in Canada, or if you are outside of Canada and you would like to also start your processing for, take for instance, study visa, we can always assist you with that, or work visas, or even people that want to go there on a vacation basis. If you are one of our clients before now, you would note that we always assist people with preparing for, first of all, IELTS. So we have coached hundreds more IELTS candidates in the past years, and we have always continued coaching them. We have also taught French to people who are either novice in the French language, Anglophone speakers, and we have also even coached the French speakers, people in Benin, Togo, and Cote d'Ivoire. So we have helped in preparing them for TEF Canada examinations through our online course, which is titled the French for TEF Canada or the French for TCF Canada examination, which we proudly call the FTC online course. So that's briefly what or who I am, what I would like you to know about myself. Before we continue, I would like to get some feedback from some of you that are on this call with us. So introduce yourself. Let me know who you are, where you are calling from. Type on the chat section your name and your location. Your name and your location. Let me know that I have some people that are actually watching this masterclass this evening. If you are joining from Canada, the PST, for instance, I think they would be around 8 some areas in Canada and 9 a.m. in some other parts of Canada. So let me know on the chat section if you are actually seeing and if you are responding and hearing me clearly. Let me also know where you are calling from, where you are joining us from, which country are you joining us from, what is your name. Type your name and your country. You can say, for instance, Aziz from Lagos. Okay, I have someone here, Rashida from Lagos. Who else is joining our session right now? Let me know where you're calling from. Let me know who you are. Just write your name and from so country that you are calling from. It's really important. I would like to know that so that I streamline what we have for today for those set of people. I'll try to bring to you what. Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Sonny Adeoti. Said I'm Adeoti from Lagos, Nigeria. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay, without wasting much of our time, let's talk about the things we have for ourselves today. If you are part of our email list, oh, Mr. Felix, thank you very much from Lagos. Oh, I have a lot of Lagosians joining us. Yusuf Kabiru Olaide from Nigeria, Lagos. Oh, another Lagosian. All right. So, if you are not part of our email list before now, I would like to tell you the agenda for today, what we actually have in stock for you. Firstly, we want to talk about the JAPA Big Review. And why do we tell me it's the JAPA Big Review? Because we have some people that have some misconceptions about the concept of JAPA. They have some misconceptions about how to relocate to Canada, for instance, precisely. So we want to see how we could assist you to understand the process and how you can start from the very beginning to the end of your process. Also, we want to talk to you about the fast way to JAPA. What are the fast and surest ways you can use to JAPA? The ones that are currently working, not the ones that people know about but I've been talking about without having cogent, you understand, results from. We want to show you the ones that have been bringing up results right from last year up until this year. In fact, some people still got selected last week. So we want to show you those set of people and those set of programs that are actually being the one that are being selected right now. Also, we want to talk about the 5-star eligibility maximizer, and that is if you have these 5 stars, if you have these 5 criteria, you would most likely be selected without necessarily struggling for your place in the permanent residency journey. We would also be talking about the program and visa insurance. How can you position yourself to get insured? How can you position yourself to not just apply, but to now get approved? Because there's difference between application and approval. Many people have been getting approvals even this January. And how did they do it? We are going to be giving you instances of people that have been doing it and how they have been successful in doing that particular thing. We'll also talk about the new application strategies that are working, strategies that you as well as an applicant can make use of in order to achieve your goal of migrating to Canada. There are some surest ways, there are some faster ways, there are some easier ways, and there's also some cheaper ways. We'll tell you also the cheaper ways you can use to relocate to Canada without breaking the bank, without struggling, without even making use of an attorney. If, for instance, you don't want to make use of a licensed immigration consultant, you can actually do that. You might not even need to what do they call it? Work with a licensed immigration consultant before you get what you actually want. So in this session, at the end of the session, we're also going to be taking some Q&As. I know a lot of you would have questions. You would have series of questions you want to ask as regards what exactly is Canada immigration. How can you as a person in the Canada immigration process, how can you get your own, you understand, your own approval? How can you relocate to Canada quickly, faster, and surer? So we'll be talking about that. Let's continue. Now, the very first thing, without wasting much time, is the JAPA Big Reveal. There are some misconceptions when it comes to Canada immigration, and I want to demystify it. A lot of people think Canada immigration is a complex and time-consuming adventure. And I'll tell you, in one way, you are right if you go about it the wrong way. But in the other way, which is the surer way, if you know what is expected of you, if you know the application roadmap, if you know how to go about it, it is not necessarily difficult. It would not be time consuming, and it will not also be something that you cannot do yourself. And if you even want a representative, you can get your family friends, you can get your family members to assist you with it without necessarily spending a dime or spending too much of dollars or naira in doing that. Now, two, people say applications get denied, and truth be told, in fact, there are a lot of applications that have gotten denied on flimsy excuses. It would surprise you that some people get denied on some very very little mistakes, and those are the mistakes we want to try to see how we can help you avoid. Here we're not just going to be sweet coating or sweet mouthing you. Here we want to tell you what is going on, how you could actually combat that denial, how you could get approved. Because I'll tell you something, thousands and hundreds of thousands of people are relocating to Canada daily. You understand? When I am rather yearly, there are hundreds of thousands are relocating yearly, thousands are relocating daily. And why are they relocating? It's because Canada is a tourist destination. Canada is a place that allows for a lot of, you understand, advantages. You get a lot of advantages. You get, for instance, if you are going as a permanent resident, you get the advantages of not spending too much of fees. If you want to study in Canada as an international student, you'll spend 3 times, 4 times, 5 times the money a citizen is paying. But as a PR, as a permanent resident, you don't get to pay that exorbitant amount of money. You understand? And we're going to be showing you how you could do it, even if you are going as a student, how you are not going to get denied by, you understand, actually applying, how you would get approved at once without spending thousands of dollars, you understand, hundreds of thousands or millions of naira doing that particular thing. Now, people always have the misconception as well that there's a fast track for all type of applicants, and this is a wrong, you understand, notion, is a wrong thinking. There is a fast track, or let me say there are fast tracks, but it is not for all types of applicants. It is not for everyone. The fast track that Canada has are the ones that are licensed, the ones that are registered, the ones that are known. Do you understand? Because there are a lot of fast track people will tell you online, but if you look through the Canadian website, and that's why we said that please note, always check the official immigration site of the government of Canada for accurate information. And what is the site? The site is cic.gc.ca. Our virtual assistant will write that on the chat section, cic.gc.ca. And we also have the second website, which is much more similar to that, which is canada.ca. Canada.ca. That is the official immigration site of the government of Canada. Anything anyone tells you online, go on that particular site and check for yourself. Is what this person actually saying correct? Take, for instance, for people that are going through the IEC, that is the International Experience Canada, or the International Experience Canada is one way people can actually use to go to Canada. People that are either skilled workers or people that are students. Do you understand? International students. Now, once someone tells you that that is a fast track, yes, the person may be right, but it may not be for everyone. That is what we are trying to say. It is not always for everyone. There are always eligibility criteria that you need to have before you can actually make use of that particular fast track to relocate to Canada. Study visa as well is not for everyone. Let me give you a particular instance. Someone that is married, especially someone that is married and does not have finance to actually um, apply for his family. Maybe take, for instance, someone that has a wife and a child, to say the least. If you don't have, you understand, in your proof of funds, if you don't have at least, do you understand, 10 million naira, it may be difficult for you to actually get that visa officer to get your application approved. Do you understand? So even though it is a fast track for a lot of people, it is a fast track for someone that is a single person, for instance, or someone that has his wife, do you understand, or his girlfriend, or maybe a girl that has a boyfriend, and you understand, they are just going on a study route while the other one is going as a work permit or as a worker. Do you understand? As a skilled worker to Canada. So it's not always for everyone. Do you understand? And I'll tell you some of the things that you are going to know that would make you take, for instance, if you're a family person, I will give you some fast tracks that you can use for yourself that not a lot of people are talking about online right now. Also, pay to expedite the application processing. Now, some people think that if they pay licensed immigration consultants, for instance, then that consultant will fast track, so to speak, the application process. It doesn't work that way. Do you understand? Even though someone is a registered or regulated Canada Immigration Consultant, RCIC, the person doesn't have that authority. He doesn't have that power to what? To infiltrate, or that power to actually decide for IRCC, the Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada. The person doesn't have it, whether be it someone that just started being a consultant maybe last year, or someone that has been a consultant for 20 years back. that person doesn't have the right. That person doesn't is not part of the deciding body. And that is why, take for instance, some people that reach out to us will tell us they made use of, I won't mention names now, they made use of so and so immigration consultant, but still they still got their visa rejected, or their visa still took years before it got, you understand, approved. It can happen that way. Why? Especially if you don't actually provide, or if you don't work together with that consultant, or if you don't provide accurate and acceptable documents that would assist that person to actually file your application rightly. Another thing is that you need to enter Canada during your application processing. No, you don't need to enter Canada. In fact, some people will say they want to go to Canada as a visitor, as a tourist, before they now apply for permanent residency. And it will surprise you that even some of the tourists that goes to Canada on that premise will still have to come back to their own country at one particular point in time in their permanent residency application before the Canadian immigration office will take them serious. Why? Because for instance, take for instance, you cannot do some educational, or rather some medical examinations, or some police clearance certifications in Canada. Because, well, take for instance, if you are going as a tourist to Canada for just 2 months, then you have not spent the required 6 months in Canada before you are going to be approved or accepted to get a police clearance certificate from Canada. Instead, you have to go back to your home country to actually get that police clearance certificate, which would assist you in your application process to file your permanent residency. Do you understand? Do you see what I'm talking about? So, though some people now do police clearance online, take for instance in Nigeria, you can do it online, especially if you have maybe the so-called the pad ink, or the, what do they call it now, the police form, the clearance form. But even as at that, you may not be allowed to do biometrics even in Canada. You may have to still come back to your home country to do that. So why don't you just stay in your home country and process your permanent residency before you relocate to Canada? Now, another thing is that you have to immigrate to Canada with a job offer. This is not so completely true. Why? Because, okay, provinces like British Columbia, if you're working on your PMP program, will require you that you have to have that job offer before you can even apply for British Columbia provincial nomination. But there are a lot of other provinces that do not require you to have job offers. Take for instance, Saskatchewan don't require you to have job offers. Ontario doesn't require you. Quebec, even Quebec, in on their websites, they will state it that even if you don't have a job offer in Quebec, do you understand that you should have in other provinces or other localities, other communities that are not the that is not in the capital of Quebec? But still, I, for instance, even still got approved. I still got invited by Quebec without necessarily having a job offer. So, without you having a job offer, you can still immigrate to Canada. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't immigrate even when you don't have a job offer. With everything I said, once again, always check the official immigration site of the government of Canada for accurate information. Now, moving on, I received this week from IRCC because immigrants like us, we always subscribe to the Immigration Canada newsletter. And I would also urge you, you can go on canada.ca or cic.gc.ca to subscribe to their newsletter. It is very, very important because everything that is going on in Canada as regards the immigration process would always be sent to you. Do you understand? And you would get educated about what is currently going on in Canada as of that particular time. So to this week on the 23rd of January 2023, I actually received this from IRCC, and IRCC stated that they are currently working on the express entry advertising campaign. That means the campaign to sensitize people about express entry. But which kind of people are they talking about? In the email, they said, hello, IRCC, which is Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, is launching an advertising campaign to encourage French-speaking skilled workers to immigrate to Canada through express entry. Now, what is that telling you? That is telling you that there are some selected few people You understand that they are wanting to actually relocate, or they are expecting to relocate to Canada based on the fact that they can speak French. I actually wrote an article, a blog article about this, I think yesterday or the day before, and I wrote in detail all what you need as an immigrant to do in order to get this kind of opportunity for yourself. I think some virtual assistants will put the link of the blog article on the chat section right now, so that you as well can actually go and read that article at the end of this video in order to learn more about it. And why did IRCC actually state this in their memo? The reason why they stated it is because they know that various communities in Canada are expecting French speakers. Why? Because they want to improve, they want to grow the amount of French speakers that are in different localities in Canada. So if you are someone that can speak French, even if you cannot speak French to the fluent level, because a lot of people are always caught aback when it comes to immigrating through the French route, you don't really need to necessarily have that competency, that advanced competency, or that fluency as a French person before you can relocate to Canada. And why? Because you just need to show that you are a very good person when it comes to taking tests. Because I do always state it that people that pass the TEF Canada and the TCF Canada examinations, that means the French exam for relocation to Canada, they are not always French or Francophone speakers. Do you understand? Even I know of Francophone speakers that would take the TEF Canada or the TCF examination and still fail it. You would agree with me, just like English speakers. We that are Nigerians, for instance, have been English speakers for years now. But a lot of people will still fail the IELTS examination. Why? Because they fail to understand that you just need to prepare for the exam. You understand? Based on what is expected in the examination. You need to prepare with the study materials, with the past questions of IELTS. Not because, oh, I've done WAEC, for instance, I've done JAM, I've been in school, I've done my bachelor's degree in an English school, so as a result of that I can speak English. No, it doesn't work that way. And that's why a lot of people will still go, like today now, some people can still go and still write the IELTS and still fail. Why? Because they fail to understand that it is the way the English that is required, or the way the examiners want you to write and speak and listen and read the English, not necessarily the way you have been accustomed to making use of the English language before. So here they stated in the memo that they have started campaign for seeking out French speakers right from late January 2023, which is this week, up until late March 2023. Someone reached out to me and asked that, is it possible for me to learn French within 3 months because of this memo? And I told the person, yes, it is possible. But now, please note, you need to understand that when I tell candidates that it's possible to learn French in 3 months, I'm not stating that you can learn French to that fluency level in 3 months. It took a lot of people years to learn it. And it still even took some people within 6 months, within 7 months to learn it. We have had success stories of people, for instance, Mrs. Abieyua rather, that learnt it within 7 months. We have had stories of Mrs. Oludari that learnt it within 5 months. And these were people that were even nursing mothers. So that's why if you have a zeal to learn the language, do you understand? And not only necessarily learning the language, but learn it for the purpose of writing the examination. You can do it. It is possible. But it is possible to learn it within 3 months, like the man that I told you reached out to me asked. It's possible, but not to the fluency level. You can learn it up to the level that at least you get a B2. Do you understand? If you are serious about it. If you take about 6 hours per day to learn the language and to prepare for the TEF Canada or the TCF Canada examination. Do you understand? So this advert, I would send the link of Choose Canada. I'm going to send it on the chat section and on the description of this video at the end of this session. You can click on the link. It's going to take you to the Choose Canada webpage where it talked about the advertisement for French speakers, and it also will link you to the Why Choose Canada page, which we'll talk about as well in you understand, in brief here. Now, why do they want newcomers that can speak French to come? I've said it, communities need their services. Community need their expertise, they need their language proficiency. But apart from that, do you understand? The reason being that they want one way or the other to see people that have more qualifications, more language proficiency, more, say to speak, eligibility criteria than others. Just in Nigeria, about last year, about when I was reading the statistics, about I think 58,000 people applied, but they can't necessarily always pick everyone that applied. So they need some eligibility criteria that would limit some other people from getting selected. So if, for instance, you have a bachelor's, if you have if you have French knowledge and you have that French or TEF Canada or TCF Canada test results, you'll be far more eligible than someone that don't have that, you understand, that particular result. Now, without wasting much time, let's talk about the fast ways to JAPA, the fast ways to relocate to Canada. Now, a lot of people know about the study permit, and the study permit, no doubt, has been a way a lot of people have been, you understand, relocating to Canada. In fact, people that have families and have a lot of proof of funds, and not just necessarily proof of funds, but were able to state in their statement of purpose that they would not just go learn, but they would also come back to their own country at the end of the day, got that, you understand, permit, got that temporary visa. And that's something about it. That's like the cliche when it comes to study permits. You cannot just use study permit to JAPA permanently. Do you understand? Or you must not also state or insinuate in a way that you are going to use that study permit to JAPA permanently. Why? Because in the laws of immigration for Canada, it is stated that an international student is meant to come to Canada, do you understand, study in Canada, and at the end of the day go back to his or her home country. And we know quite all right that a lot of people will not want to go back. Yes, but that does not mean you should state it in your statement of statement of purpose rather. You must always have something. You must have a tie, either a family ties, either economic ties, that would always link you back to your home country. Do you understand? So that is why writing your statement of purpose is very important. Showing your take for instance your economic ties. And when I'm talking about economic ties, let's put that in context. Take for instance, you may have a business you are doing here in Nigeria, maybe your family business that you would also use to, you understand, apply, stating that you would always come back to your own country in order to continue your business in Canada through the use of a letter and through the use of, you understand, tax filings and things to show that you are a useful, you understand, representative. You are someone, you are a useful employee, or you are a useful executive in that company that would always come back to work in that organization. Also, you can make use of even the organization you're working with. You can state that, okay, you are an employee and you have been given, for instance, a study leave to go study and come back to your own country at the end of that, you understand, that program. So another way you can use to relocate is the provincial nominee program. Now, here I want to state it that a lot of people don't know how to apply accurately well for PMPs. And why? It's because I've tried it the wrong way before, and I've also tried it the right way. You understand? Especially last year, a lot of people would just apply for Saskatchewan provincial nomination, for instance, and they would not get approved. They will not even get that notification of interest. Why? Because the fact that you have maybe 62 points, 64 points, or even 70, 74 points, do you understand, in the Saskatchewan provincial nominee program, do not mean that you are still going to be accepted. If, for instance, you have an occupation that, okay, for instance, it is not part of the in-demand jobs, it's not part of the in-demand occupations in that particular province, Saskatchewan, for instance, or Prince Edward Island, for instance, you will still not get that notification of interest. So before you apply for any provincial nominee program, you have to also always check that this particular program, is it best for me? This particular program, the history behind the program, the people that they have selected 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, a month ago, 2 months ago, do my NOC code, you understand, does it actually get added to people that get selected in this program. Let me give you a particular instance. Last year, November, I think that was the last time Ontario held its own provincial nominee program. They selected people in the tech industry. Do you understand? People that were web developers, graphic designers, like NOC. Now that reminds me, November, I think October or November last year, they changed the NOC 2016 to the NOC 2021. So for some people that were NOC 2175, like web developers, for instance, when they got into the NOC 2021, they had 21223, you understand, or 21224, depending on if they are 21233 or 21234, depending on if they are web developers or they are web designers. And look at that. If, for instance, you applied under the Ontario Immigration Nominee Program, or you just put an express entry profile and stated that you were a web developer stroke designer with the 2175 NOC. If you stated that and the pool or the draw they picked were just for people that were in the tech industry, but there was no inclusion of what they call it, the web developer or the web designer, you won't be added to it. So you have to be particular which kind of NOC codes are they selecting. If they are selecting NOC codes that you have experience for, you may need to forfeit all other what do they call it, all other experiences for that particular NOC code. And that means that if you are someone that you are a multitasker, if you are someone that have full-time jobs, maybe you take 2-3 jobs at the same time, maybe you have part-time jobs and full-time jobs, then you may need to look within those occupations, within those industries, which one particularly do a certain province always invite, almost in 2 weeks time, maybe in a month or in 2 months or in 3 months. Once you check that NOC code, once you check that in-demand occupation, then you would apply using the one that is in demand and the one that would give you that much more probability of getting selected than others. Do you understand? I hope that helps. Now, another thing is that some people have some transferable skills, especially in the tech industry or in the health industry or even in the finance industry. We have some people that were bankers before and they can still work in customer service. In fact, some people were just bankers. Maybe, for instance, they were part of the customer service, but their job role was in 3 different positions. Do you understand? You may be customer service manager, you may be procurement manager, you may be a lot of things all together, 3 in 1, 4 in 1. Do you understand? So as a result of that, if you are like me, what you are meant to do in that situation is that you will choose the NOC code that is, first of all, in demand, the NOC code that not necessarily the one that was stated in your, so say to speak, your job engagement, your engagement letter, but the one that you feel that yes, this is the one that will get you that what, that will get you that invitation. Now, mind you, a lot of people will lie in their applications, and this would affect you as well. Even though we want you to choose in-demand occupations, NOC codes that would be of your own favor, don't always lie when it comes to, you understand, selecting the NOC code, because it will affect you on the long run. So you have to be tactical and, you understand, careful in that sense. Now, express entry program is another way. A lot of people don't always like to do the express entry because it's very competitive. And yes, I'll tell you, it is very, very competitive. Even right now, when they are picking people in the 490 ranges, 500 ranges. But a lot of you will still have to put that profile in, not because you are looking to get selected under the federal skilled program, but because once you are in the express entry profile, you would also be someone that would be visible to all other provinces apart from even the federal government pools. Do you understand? Take, for instance, if you're in the express entry profile and you want to go through provincial nominee programs, you can still get selected. A lot of people that we work with got selected in the pool through Alberta, even if they didn't have that particular, you understand, that particular point, that's cutoff, that 490, 500 points. Do you understand? Some people got through, invited through Manitoba Strategic Initiative, Strategic Recruitment Initiative, while they were in the express entry pool, and they didn't have the high scores, they didn't have the high marks. So that's why we still advise people to have a profile, but still look for all other ways to get invited apart from being fully focused on the express entry program. Work permit too is another way that you could relocate quickly to Canada, but you must be very careful with this. A lot of people would not even get job offers, talk less of getting their work permit. And you note that before you can get work permit, just like before you can get study permit, you must either have your admission ready or you must have your job offers ready. Especially if you are in highly skilled programs or highly skilled occupations, you may need to lower your standards a little, maybe get a cleaner job or get a chauffeur job, a chef job, or even go through the rural and northern pilot program, which is not even which is even still better, apart from just focusing on the express entry program. And lastly, you can go through family sponsorship. This is also slow, but it's already getting faster than before due to the works that Sean Fraser and his team have been doing right from time. So as of early 2023, more PMP, express entry, and study permits have been issued than other pathways. So you may want to actually focus on either PMP together with EE or even PNP together with study permits, depending on your preferences. Now, we have had people that have worked with us. Take, for instance, Mrs. Adaba, TEF Canada, who was our student at one point. She was our French student. She learned French with us and later prepared for TEF Canada through her husband. She said it was a dream come true for us to get that TEF Canada results. And in 2 weeks, we got the AINMP, which is the Alberta nomination, or the Alberta notification of interest invitation. And as they say, the rest is stories. Why? Because she had that TEF Canada result. I think she was getting close to 40 as at then, but with her TEF Canada results, she was able to apply for the Alberta immigration nominee program. Now, apart from that, we also have a BAU at TEF Canada who said, my husband and I thought you were a scam, but my friend's husband studied French and passed TEF Canada with you before I enrolled. Thanks, A.O.S. I think this particular woman was someone that was skeptical about what we could do for her within few times. She learned, as I said before, for like 7 months before she got her TEF Canada result, and she was able to use that to relocate to Canada, precisely Manitoba. She got her LAA from Manitoba. Now, we also have Rashida Yusuf that said she worked with A.O.S from Ilorin, Nigeria, while seeking admission in Unilorin. She never ever thought she could migrate cheaply. Allah bless you, sir. Now, there's something that comes into mind when you are talking about relocation. A lot of people think proof of fund is something that is meant to impede them from relocating to Canada. You may not have the so-called proof of funds, but there are ways around how you could get the proof of funds. I do always talk about OPM, and OPM stands for other people's money. Instead of you making use of, especially when you don't even have the money for yourself, you can always use other people's money. People know about the work sponsorship. Work sponsorship is for maybe work visas or even permanent residency, but that may be difficult to find. We also have other people's money you could use, for instance, like loans from banks. You understand, either commercial banks or microfinance banks. However, some do not also like to go through those routes. We have other ways as well you could use to actually relocate to Canada without necessarily breaking the bank. Another person was Busayo or Busola. She said she was skeptical about her IELTS class, but she got the test result after all. She had an 8.0 and she was able to use it for what I think she used it for her study visa at that time. Mr. Gbenga as well also said he learnt the French sound just like a native speaker. And apart from that, he is not even relocating, but he is now a French teacher himself because of the few months we actually tutored him in the French language. So if you are like any of these clients, you can as well also reach out to us and would either prepare you for IELTS, prepare you for TEF Canada while teaching you in French, or as well assist you with your Canada immigration process. Now we have come to the 5-star eligibility maximizer. The maximizer that I feel that if any one of you that are currently watching us now have would give you a much more, you understand, opportunity to Canada fast. And what are they? Firstly, you need to have your band 8.0 in IELTS or CELPIP and or your TEF Canada or TCF results. Now, there's something that comes to mind when it comes to IELTS. We have the 8777 rule. You understand? If you have a band 8.0 in listening, 7.0 or 7.5 in reading, 7.0 or 7.5 in listening, 7.0 or 7.5 in writing, then you have almost or most likely maxed out the IELTS band scores, the points. If you fall below 8.0 in the listening, it would be a reduction of about 50 points if you are going through the express entry profile. You understand, program. And if not, if you are going through the provincial nominee program as well, you need that 8.0 in order to actually rank high compared to all other candidates. So this first star is very, very important. It is what you even need to get started with anything. Now, the HND or master's degree credential assessment. Some of you may not even have HND or master's degree. There are still other programs for you. But people that would really quickly get selected are people that have maybe ND with OND, or OND with HND, or even just master's degree. Do you understand? That would really help you. It will go a long way. If you have an OND and an ND, Canada would evaluate that as two different qualifications. Do you understand? And you would also have an increased point, especially if your age is already above 40. Now, another thing is age within 22 to 40. If you are within those age ranges, it is a maximizer. You understand? It will really boost your scores. However, we have had situations, we have worked with people that still had their age bracket above 40. They can still go, especially if maybe their spouse is below 40, or even if their spouse is above 40 but they have masters for themselves, they have TEF Canada results for themselves, they can as well still get very much eligible. Like Abiyua that we talked about, she got eligible even though she was above 40 already. Now, the 3 or more years of in-demand job experience, if you are already an in-demand job. And what are the even in-demand jobs? We have talked about tech jobs, we have even healthcare jobs, like caregiver jobs, like nurse jobs. If you are even a banker, for instance, as we have said before, a financial analyst, if you are a data scientist, do you understand? Or a data analyst, you still have, or a data engineer, you have very good opportunity to relocate to Canada. They are crazily looking for people like you. If you are a manager as well, a senior manager in the senior manager role or in the intermediate manager role, you are also required in Canada. Do you understand? They really want you. So if you want to get started, you can go on cic.gc.ca website or canada.ca website, or even reach out to us on our contact details. Our virtual assistant will send the contact details on the chat section right now. So you can always check out the website, the Canada Immigration website, or reach out to us to assist you with working on your job experience. Now, you need the required proof of funds, either in cash or assets. Some of the people we have worked with just got their proof of funds in cash. Do you understand? Millions of naira, most likely in cash. Some people got their assets, maybe their fixed deposit account, maybe because they have saved some money in that, gotten some interest from banks and things like that, or maybe they have gold or silver, you understand, in their possession and want to look at the monetary value. Do you understand? The monetary value, please be careful of that. When I'm talking about proof of funds, you need something that would most likely be liquidable. Do you understand? Something that the liquidity ratio is quite fast, something that can easily be converted into cash, basically. Something that you can easily convert into cash quickly. So you need these 5 stars. Now, I'd like to ask in the comment section, we have asked a lot, we have talked a lot here. I want to ask the viewers that we have right now, who amongst us have this 5-star eligibility? Who among this masterclass already has at least 2 to 3 of this 5-star eligibility maximizer? Who amongst people in this, you understand, session, you have it? Then say yes, you do, or put a 1, the number 1 on the chat section. Let me know that you actually have this, you understand, this maximizer. If you don't, at least write something. Let me know that I'm actually communicating. Do you at least have your masters? Even if you have your bachelor's, just write it down. If you started your bachelor's and you already have an ND or an OND before you started your bachelor's, that is still also two credentials. So you can still make use of that. If you have that, put it on the chat section and let me know. Let me know so that we'll see how we can assist you in your quest to relocate to Canada. Now, that being said, let's move on to the next thing. The next slide is talking about what is really in our JAPA Easy Fast Track package. If, for instance, you are someone that would like to work with us to actually apply to Canada, either to apply for your study visa or to apply for your permanent residency or to apply for even work visas, Then we have a kind of package for you, a package that would assist you in your application process, that would assist you to actually work on your immigration to Canada. We have the step-by-step Canada visa application training for people that really have done one application or the other but have not been getting through it. Take for instance, someone reached out to me, I think day before yesterday, stating that she has done visa applications. She has done the tourist visa 2018, she got rejected. She tried the study visa 2020, she got rejected. Another one 2022, she got rejected. Even this year 2023, she has gotten rejected. So that couple, about four times she got rejected. And when I checked our application, I saw that there were some little errors, little mistakes. Even though she worked with an agent, there were some little mistakes in it. But instead of you getting rejected, why can't you just even do everything you need once and for all through the use of people that have actually done it before, or through the use of going extensively online and checking things that people have done, checking Nairaland, for instance. Nairaland.com is a very useful website. Quora.com is a very useful website you can go on to actually learn. But if you want every training you can come across, if you want every training that you can actually get to help you do your application step by step, then you may not need to go through all these Hello everyone. Sorry about that. Okay, I think we are back online now. If you can hear me right now, just put a number one on the chat section. Let me know you are following us right now, please. Sorry about that hiccup. We got disconnected for a few minutes there. Please, if you can listen and hear me clearly, just put a one so that I know that you're actually listening and hearing me clearly, please. Put a one on the chat section. Let me know that you can actually hear me. You can hear me well. Can we actually start up again? We got there was a network glitch there. Okay, thank you, Mr. Felix. Thank you, Yoruba recaps. Okay, so I was talking about the opportunities you have in the JAPA Easy Fast Track package. If, for instance, you want to get scholarship in schools, some people don't know that there are some free scholarships. We are in January 2023. This is the time Canada and schools actually issue scholarships. Even the federal government of Nigeria, some people don't know that the federal government of Nigeria also gives some scholarships. If you want to learn how to not just get that scholarship, not just apply for that scholarship, but at the end of the day, be given that fee or be given that opportunity to school in Canada, either freely or for a token, then you need to work on your statement of purpose. You need to also work on letters, application letters that you would write, motivation letters you write to schools. So we also have a kind of template. We have samples, we have scripts, templates that have allowed people like me, for instance, have gotten scholarships in the UK. Do you understand? Through the use of some of these templates. Even people that have also migrated to Canada through the study route have used some of these templates to get scholarships from Canadian universities, Canadian colleges. So if you want to actually get that, we have some statements for you that are actually worth 505k thousand naira in value, but you're not going to be paying that. We also have Canadian resumes, secrets, and even cover letter templates that you would use to get Canadian jobs. Um, I think December, yes, yeah, last month December, I actually talked about how I got Canadian virtual jobs online while still even in Nigeria. You understand? It's possible, especially through LinkedIn, through Indeed.ca. You understand? ca.indeed.com. You can also get Canadian job offers there. You can get Canadian job offers even on Canadian Bank. Do you understand? You can Canadian Job Bank rather. You can get Canadian job offers through even your LinkedIn profile if you actually automate and organize your LinkedIn profile well. Many of you don't even know how to even go about writing, first of all, a Canadian approved resume. There's a kind of standard that the Canadian employers actually make use of when it comes to writing and, you understand, penning down your CVs, your cover letters. We would also assist you in developing that. Now, if for instance you want to learn French, you are someone that you have seen the opportunity, you have seen that if you have that French test result, you would most likely get selected, especially with the memo that was shared by IRCC this week. Then you can also join our French for TEF Canada online courses. Or if, for instance, you don't even want the online courses, you're already a French speaker yourself, you already have certain amount of knowledge in French, you can just get our resources, the FTC resources, the French for TEF Canada or French for TCF Canada resources. We have study materials we would also provide for you in the JAPA Easy Fast Track package. And for instance, if you want to learn IELTS, you want to learn IELTS through our online course, we have our online course which is on our website. We also have preparation trainings that will train you virtually online. We also have materials that we can provide for you, which are materials that we used or that were developed by British Council, materials that were developed by Cambridge English that you could make use of in preparing yourself for IELTS. So that, if you want to learn more about that, you can go on our website. You understand, aosacademy.com/japa-package. You could get access to that package on that website. Now, without wasting much time, let's move on to the program and visa insurance. Now, there's a kind of way you can apply for Canada immigration programs that would make you kind of insured to get that visa, that will make you kind of insured to be taken serious. Firstly, the first thing you can do is for you to meet the eligibility criteria. There are a lot of criteria when it comes to certain programs and certain visa applications. You cannot just apply for a visa application without knowing and following the criteria that visa has actually laid down for you to follow. Do you understand? Take for instance, if you are applying for Ontario Provincial Nominee Program, you need to follow the guideline that they stated down. You can't use the guideline that was stated for Quebec to apply for Ontario. And many people don't know this. The fact that you go on a provincial nominee program website and you just applied, you understand, maybe for instance Manitoba, you just applied for Manitoba and you didn't follow the laid down process, you would still not likely get that notification of interest. You will still not likely get that nomination from that province. Do you understand? So you need to note, what are those criteria you need to follow? what are those documentations you need to provide? Do you understand? You need to also state clearly your intent to return to your own country. Maybe, for instance, if you are studying or you are applying for study visa, you need to note that, okay, if, for instance, I want to apply for study permit, you have to state that you are going to come back to your own country in your statement of purpose, and not just state it, but you also have to insinuate that you will come back. You have to plan your return trip. Do you understand? You have to plan your return to your country. Do you understand? While you are applying. So some people will make the mistake for just applying to colleges, to universities, without stating even in the letter that as soon as they get that their program certificate, as soon as they get that their degree, they would use the knowledge they get from that degree, they will use the knowledge, the expertise they get from that program to also maybe improve their business in their own country, or to improve the government. If, for instance, you are working as a civil servant or a public servant, to improve this particular area you are working in that government parastatal, you need to write it in the statement of purpose. Do you understand? Also, you need to submit a well-prepared application. And I'll tell you, if you, for instance, apply for a particular province or a particular application within maybe like few hours or few minutes, then you are most likely making mistake in that application. Why? Because it has to take some at least days before you submit the application, so that it will give you time to check, to cross check what you have done, if you have a well prepared application already. Because if you don't have a well prepared application, it will affect you on the long run. Do you understand? And for you to have a well prepared application, you need to have actually give accurate and honest information. You need to also think the way a visa officer would think. Do you understand? If, for instance, you are a visa officer, you need to put yourself in that shoes, that if I'm a visa officer, mere reading my application, would I be willing to also give myself that visa? And this is one way we always used to look at our, you understand, applications at AOS Canada IRC. If we see that we are not convinced enough, then we don't expect the visa officer to be convinced to stamp that visa and approve it. So you need to also use an ethical representative, someone that will not lie in your application. Let me give you a particular scenario. I think last 2 years, one banker reached out to me in Ilorin when we were still domiciled there, and he stated that when he was going to the UK, he actually lied about his application, or let me say, not that he lied, his agent that he made use of kind of hid the truth. Do you understand? From the visa application. And how did they do that? He was single, but because he had a fiancé, the fact you have a fiancé doesn't mean you are married. Now, please always note that once you have a fiancé, yes, there's another way you can relocate to Canada. We have a program or a process we know as the common law partnership. You can go to Canada even if you're not married. You can go legally with your fiancé, legally with your boyfriend or your girlfriend to Canada. Do you understand? But the fact that you stated, even in UK, that you were married with a child, do you understand? And you were successfully given that visa to travel to UK for tourists, for vacation. You understand? For tourism. The fact it was even approved doesn't mean it will get approved in Canada. And that's what exactly happened to him. When he applied for Canada immigration for permanent residency, he got rejected, and not only rejected, banned for 5 years, because in that Canada immigration application, he stated that he was single. So they were looking that the concept of single, the marital status single, means you have never married. Do you understand? That's the way they would analyze it, that being single just means you have never married. But if you stated married in UK, the UK shares data with Canada. So the fact that what you did in UK, you understand, you thought maybe you can just go scot-free. No, it doesn't work that way. It will still affect, it will still haunt you in the Canada immigration process. So the fact that he got single in Canada has already affected his chances to relocate to Canada, because if he was even, you understand, separated after he got married, he was meant to write divorced, not, you understand, not single again. So as a result of that, they found him to be someone that misrepresented himself. And if you know the concept of misrepresentation in Canada, they don't take it lightly. Once they can feel that you misrepresented yourself, you will get disapproved, you will get rejected, you can even also get banned for doing it for about 5 years, 10 years from now. So please always be ethical, always be honest, always have that integrity while applying for Canada immigration. Now, in line with our JAPA package, if for instance you want to take that our JAPA package, you see that we can actually assist you, because a lot of people, for instance, that want this program and visa insurance, they will come up to us to help them with their eligibility criteria, help them with preparing the application well, and also providing accurate and honest information. So if you want this, we can also provide you with some things. In addition, we can provide you with job search training. We can train you on how to get jobs virtually. Some people, for instance, don't have the proof of funds. Some don't even have the funds for processing the application. So if you don't have the funds you can use to process your application, I can tell you for a fact now that you can get those funds online. You can get those funds by also assisting people. You can get those funds by working for international students, for instance, that have relocated already. You can get those funds from permanent residents or people that are on the verge of relocating to Canada and want to, you understand, either get proof of funds that you can assist them with. You can also help them by penning down the application. You can help them by going through the process and getting your own fees for actually rendering a service. So if you want to learn how to do that, we'll give you access to our job search training. If, for instance, you also want to have access to our monthly JAPA master classes, just like this one that we are having currently, this is one of our monthly JAPA master classes, but you would also get access to the recordings, access to all other things that we have done in the masterclass and out of the masterclass through enrolling for our JAPA Easy Fast Track package. Also, you also get weekly Canada immigration consultations for people that are enrolled to our JAPA package. For those who are enrolled last month, for instance, December last year, they are always getting weekly Canada immigration consultations for free from us. And these are consultations that could have actually cost some particular amounts of fees if they didn't go through, you understand, the JAPA Easy Fast Track package. So if you go through that package, we would also give you even international migrant business coaching. We'll give you coaching for you to set up businesses, for instance, in Canada or even outside of Canada, and still earn from people already living in Canada, even in UK, even in US, and all other countries, all other first world countries. Likewise, if, for instance, you are not a couple already, you already have your fiancé, you already have your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and you want to move with your boyfriend or girlfriend, you want to move with your common law partner, then you can do it with our common law union partnership package. We would show you through that partnership advantage how you and that you understand, your significant partner can relocate to Canada lawfully. You understand? Lawfully, without doing anything contrary to the law, without doing anything illegal. You would go there lawfully with your significant partner, and you will be recognized by law as someone that is going with your significant partner. Even if you are going with someone that you are not really much acquainted to, maybe someone that, for instance, maybe you are a man, for instance, and you are going with another man, it's possible. If you are a woman and you are going with another woman, it's possible. We'll show you how to do that in the bonuses for the JAPA package. But before I talk fully about what the JAPA package also entails, apart from the bonuses, let me talk about the new application strategies you can use to actually apply for Canada immigration. Firstly, there is now an improved invitation for provinces or territories. If, for instance, you want to get selected by provinces and territories, right from last month, precisely December 2022, provinces and territories have now actually improved the way they select people. And let me give you a particular instance. If you are someone, again, that you are in the in-demand jobs, it's very important you are in the in-demand jobs. If, for instance, your occupation relates to someone that have had experiences in series of, maybe, for instance, if you are a medical practitioner, if, for instance, you are a finance person, maybe a financial analyst, or you're a data scientist, or if for instance you understand, you are even a teacher. Thank you. If you are a teacher, there are some programs in certain provinces that will give you that upper hand, that will give you that preference. Oh, thank you. Yusuf Kabiru said, I have OND banking as. That's a very good one. Apart from your OND, do you have ND at least, or do you have HND? And the reason why I ask is that you can always get additional points in your banking and finance, you understand, certification, and in another certification, even if it's still in the banking and finance industry. Do you understand? Mr. Felix O also said, I have 3 to 5. In my case, I have a BA in philosophy and currently running my MBA with Nextford University online, which I am not longer comfortable with as I would prefer in person. Well, for the Nextford University, I know about that university, Mr. Felix, and I've heard series of people that have taken it. In fact, one of our clients currently, who is in Abuja, also took it. She has even completed it already. You understand? But we were so how would I call it now? We were so disappointed at that university one way because we saw that WES, which is World Education Services, they don't evaluate credentials coming from Nextford University at this particular point, Mr. Felix. Do you understand? And we tried, I think the other organization that carries carries on the ECA or does the ECA, which is I think ISIS or ICAS, but they have not also responded to their queries to if, for instance, the next 4 certifications are being, you understand, evaluated by that school. For that school. So I think that next Ford university degree is not really worth much. I'm sorry to state it. I think the school said on their website, nextford.org, that they will still currently they are still working on trying to get West to evaluate their credentials. But as of I think late last year, their credentials are not being evaluated. And if they are not evaluated, that means you cannot claim points. You can't claim points for the MBA you did in Nextford. So better still, with that your ND or your OND or even your BA, you can still work on, do you understand, on some other programs. Oh, Mr. Felix said my wife has OND in animal health. That's very good. That's very good. Now see what happens there. Your OND or your BA, Mr. Felix, and your wife's OND can actually be 2 degrees. Do you understand? So you can reach out to WES or you can do the ICAS or ICES and still get them to evaluate your BA and the OND of your wife. So that will still help your application to Canada. Now, Mr. Sonny Adeotio said, I have OND and HND in accounting. Beautiful. Your OND and HND are 2 certifications and will give you additional points than someone that just has a BA. Also undergoing professional certification. Good, good, good. Please, that's a very good one. I think your certification, Mr. Sonny Adeoti, is it the certification of ACCA or is it even CIMA, CIMA? If it is any of that, beautiful, because you would also get recognized as someone that has a master's. Do you understand? So that's a very wonderful one. So that is in line with what we are talking about, the new application strategies. Better documentation on study permits. If, for instance, you have your admission, someone that has admission already in a Canadian college or a university does not mean that that person has a study permit already. In fact, we have had scenarios of people that got admissions in, maybe for instance, Seneca College, but still got rejected 3 times. You understand? In their quest to get study permit. So you need to be very, very tactical in the way you render your documentations, in the way you actually pen down your study permits. Don't just, you understand, enroll. The fact that you are even using an agent doesn't mean you don't need to take care of your application. You need to man your application as if your life depends on it, and truthfully your travel life depends on it, because any dent, any refusal, any rejection would affect you. Even though Canada will state on the rejection letter that uh, you can still reapply, this rejection doesn't affect, and it will be, as they do state it, that the rejection for this will still not affect. It is, I won't say it's a lie. You understand? They are right because they would look at it solely as another application. But if you do not accurately correct the error in the first application in the second application, it will still affect and you still get rejected. Do you understand? You still get rejected. Oh, Mr. Sonny, you said I can. Well, I can. You have to check on that. Now, I'm not sure if I can is being looked upon as a master's, but don't worry, with your OND and HND, it's quite okay for, you understand, Canada immigration, especially for the permanent residency, if that is what you want to work on. Now, if you want to switch to in-demand occupations, for instance, we have in-demand occupations like accountancy. That's a very good one, especially if you have experience not only studying but also working as an accountant or working as anybody in the finance industry. That's a very good one. Now, we also have new application strategies, even in our JAPA package, that would help you get easy job prospecting online. I think last month precisely, I also did a webinar. I was in the start section. The webinar was centered on how to migrate to Canada in 2023. And in there, I talked about how to actually even make use of your LinkedIn profile. I've been talking about it. LinkedIn profile to get jobs, remote jobs that would pay you almost similar amount to people that are working in Canada. For instance, one of my uncles in Canada is earning about 1,100 Canadian dollars. You understand, monthly from one particular job he's doing. And there are some jobs online that are still willing to pay you 1,200 Canadian dollars, and that's roughly like 800K. Do you understand? A month, in order to work with them online. And what does that tell you? If you're a data scientist like me, for instance, you can get those kind of jobs that would allow you to work with them online virtually and still also get similar amounts that you would get in Canada while you are working with them. Do you understand? So that's something you must actually take note of. Now, fast exam preparations. There are some fast exam preparation tips we are actually using to prepare people right now. If, for instance, you want to learn French and you are scared, you don't know how to go about it, we can assist you to learn it quickly. We can assist you to learn what really matters most, not learning to become fluent, not learning to become the next, you understand, French prof, but learning to become sufficiently able to write the TEF Canada and have at least B2 level. And if you can have B2 level in your TEF Canada result, believe me, you would be a hot cake. You understand? You will be a hot cake because a lot of provinces will reach out to you. Communities may even reach out to you if you are going through the rural and northern immigration pilot program. They will reach out to you because they see that you have what they want already. Do you understand? So please note that. Now I want to talk about our JAPA immigration package. We have talked about what we have in the package. We have also talked about the bonuses. You may still be asking, what are really inside the JAPA Easy Fast Track Canada package that we have been talking so much about? Now, firstly, in the JAPA Easy Fast Track Canada package, we have our step-by-step Canada visa application training. If you are applying for study visas, we have trainings for you in that JAPA package. If you are applying for PR, if you are applying for express entry profile, a lot of people will have their profiles for 7 months, 8 months without getting approved, without getting invited to apply. Most of our applicants would get that their invitation within few months, within 3-4 months. Do you understand? Because they applied well, because they applied with our training. So if you want to get our training, which is valid for $999, which is 443K, then you can reach out to us now. If you also want to get our scholarship statement scripts and letter samples that would help you to write that killer scholarship that would allow you to get scholarships. We have partial scholarships. For instance, in the UK, I got a partial scholarship early last year, around January 2022, which allowed me to study freely in the UK without paying a dime. And these are scholarship statements that you can not only use for Canada, you would, if you want, use it for UK and it will work. If you want, use it for US and it will work. And you can even get scholarships, you can get opportunities to study in Ivy League colleges in the US, even with this, you understand, script that would give you access to. And this is worth about $1,135, which is roughly 505,000K. Now, this, you are not going to pay this amount as well. We also have the Canada resume secret and cover letter template you would have access to, which is valued for $699. That's 310,000 naira, which is not what you would pay as well if you are part of this JAPA Easy Fast Track Canada package. We also have our French for TEF Canada online course and resources, which is valid for $399. We have our IELTS preparation training materials and training. Now, this is valid for $259. Even our bonuses, our weekly Canada immigration consultation we talked about, $497. For people to consult with us, we even get to earn about quarter of that money per consultation, depending on the level of consultation the person wants. So with you actually paying for this, you have weekly access for almost 6 months to consult with us freely without paying an extra dime. We also have our French for TEF Canada or TCF Canada VIP coaching. And what is embedded in the VIP coaching? Someone reached out to me this evening asking about VIP coaching from India, and I told him, just like he reached out, he actually got access to us through one of his friends that is currently taking VIP coaching, and he was talking about the VIP coaching, and we informed him that it is $599. He is willing to pay it because he knows the value for it, but he never knows that he can actually get our full JAPA Easy Fast Track Canada package even with less that amount and still have that additional VIP package attached to it. So that's the benefit you for joining us for this masterclass would have. Now, we also have the common law union partnership advantage. If, for instance, you are not a common law, if, for instance, you are a married couple, this will still help you. Even if you are a single person, it will help you learn how you can also bring someone. There's someone, for instance, for everybody. You can still bring someone with you, even if you are not in a conjugal relationship with that person, and I will show you how to do that. Even if you're not in a romantic relationship with that person, you can still bring someone along and assist that person to actually relocate. I will show you how. And if, for instance, you don't even have the funds, you are looking for someone that would pair with you to assist you, we can show you in the partnership advantage how to get someone that will spend most of the money for you. You understand? And you will just give some other thing in value to actually move with that person to Canada. Now, we also have the Canada job search training, which would help you to actually learn how to get virtual jobs online, how to get jobs from Canadian employers and recruiters without spending a dime. You understand? In advertising, we would show you that. We also have the monthly JAPA masterclass, just like this one. You would have access if you actually enroll for our JAPA fast track, because this masterclass is going to be monetized soon. So if you are wise about it, you would try to actually get access to that masterclass almost every month. You understand? When it is now, you understand, available to you. And we have the international migrant business coaching, which is priceless. I can't even put a price to this, because here we'll be showing you how to make money. Here we'll be showing you how we as well are making money, even without necessarily already being in Canada. And when we get to Canada, when we are in Canada also, when you are in Canada also, would also teach you how you can actually earn money, the things that you can do in Canada to earn money and not complain like all other people that are also relocating and working menial jobs over there, working what they know as survival jobs over there. That means jobs that are not really, you understand, worth it. So if you pay in the next 10 minutes, I would also give you a secret solution, and the secret solution is for proof of funds. You know, we talked about people that can get proof of funds from banks, commercial banks, microfinance banks. We don't do that at A.O.S Canada IRC. We also even talked about how you can get funds from other people's money. Do you understand? That is exactly what we are going to be talking about, but we are going to be showing you a secret solution that would make you do it a totally different way that a lot of people don't know about right now. And for all this, you just need to pay a token of $497, which is $390,000 only, to actually get access to this JAPA Easy Fast Track package. How does that sound? Are you really geared up to actually enroll for that package? If you are, please put it in the comment section. Let me know what you are thinking. This JAPA package, do you feel is something you can actually enroll to? Do you feel it's something that is really worth your while? Please let me get your feedback. Let me get your feedback. Type in the comment section. Let me know before I take this part of the masterclass. Now, if you want to get started with the JAPA process, then you can have access to the JAPA process as soon as you actually make your payments. If you can make your payments to through Nigerian account. You can actually pay through the Naira account, the Zenith Bank. Someone is also going to put that in the comment section right now. You can pay into the Zenith Bank account. I'll take the Zenith Bank account now. 1017 65 51 08. You can pay also through PayPal, through admin@aosacademy.com if you're outside Nigeria. You can also pay through Flutterwave if you are in Nigeria or in Africa. You can pay through Paystack through that link that will be sent to you on the chat section. And you can also send your payment screenshot. As soon as you make payment, you can send your payment screenshot on Telegram for your virtual access. You will get access to all what we talked about in the JAPA package. Or you can even reach out to us lastly on WhatsApp, or you can call or text us on the Canadian number in order to get access to the JAPA process or the JAPA to Canada complete package. Now, I've come to the end of the presentation. If you have any questions, have any comments, let us know now. This is the time for you to actually ask your questions, to get responses from them, to get comments. You understand? Give comments if you want to. And if you want to reach out to us even after this webinar session, you can also reach out to us on aosacademy.com or ftc.aosacademy.com. Those are our websites. The first website is the main website, and we have the subdomain. You can also go on any of those websites. The second domain is where we have our online courses. The ftc.aosacademy.com is our online school, while aosacademy.com is our flag bearer. That's our main website, so you can go on that to actually get information about everything we do. You can also subscribe to our newsletter, which is going to pop up as soon as you reach out on that website. Also, you can send us emails on admin@aosacademy.com or ftc@aosacademy.com. Okay, Mr. Felix, you have your questions. You can ask your questions if you have it. And you can call us if you want on our contact details, 081-0771-449, or you can reach out to us on our Canadian number +1 647 947 4399. We'll be expecting to reach out to us. So if you have any questions, Mr. Felix, I think you want to ask questions. Please, you are free to ask your questions right now. We're expecting you. Mr. Sonia Adeoti, do you have any question for us? If you have any question for us, you are free to actually reach out to us. Okay, Mr. Adeoti, I just saw you joined our Telegram group. Thank you very much for that. Okay. I'm expecting your questions. If you don't have any questions, we may have to call it a day. We have about 7 minutes before we stop this session. Please, any question now, this is when we need it. This is when you can get your questions answered if you have any. And if you don't have questions, you can drop comments. Just let us know your comments. How was the session for you today? What did you learn? What are you looking up to? What do you want us to know about you? Okay, Mr. Felix O, you asked my question number 1. Can someone who is already in 300 level in the Nigerian university relocate easily to Canada since he is studying French? Wow, that's a brilliant question. Yes and yes. You can, definitely. And the reason why I stated that is you can, if, for instance, you go through the process that has been talked about extensively this evening. Take, for instance, as a 300 level student, if you want to go there to study, maybe since you are in the 300 level now, bachelor's degree, you want to go study your master's, you can go there easily without even needing to necessarily write IELTS exam or French TEF Canada exam or TCF Canada exam. There are some colleges that you would apply to that would approve that your French degree, your French program, or any other program you do as the program you need. Do you understand? To relocate to Canada, the program you need to get that you understand, that opportunity. All you just need to do is to submit your certificate, to submit your transcript as well to the school, and to also submit all other requirements like the proof of funds that you need, the statement of purpose that you would write, and all other explanation letters if you have it. So you can do that for the temporary residency. But if you want to go through the permanent residency, then you may require to even write the IELTS exam or to write the TEF Canada. Okay, your second question, can I process application without the IELTS? Definitely yes, you can process your application. But as I said, the application you'll be able to process is going to be the temporary residency application, either the study visa application or either the tourist or the visitor visa application. Do you understand? If you are to go through the temporary residency route, the temporary visa is going to be given to you, and the temporary visa is going to be the one that would allow you to relocate to Canada as an international student or as a visitor or as a tourist or even as a worker, you understand, through the work visa. Through the work visa. There are some works that doesn't really necessarily need you to write IELTS, and there are some that really need you to do. But for permanent residency, it is important that you take IELTS. And if you don't want to take IELTS, we have had situations of people that didn't take IELTS that took only TEF Canada exam because they had the French knowledge. In fact, those people are still going to even be given much more opportunities. They would have access to much more opportunities because people that have the TEF Canada or the TCF Canada results are really scarce. Do you understand? So they would have much more opportunities than people that just have only the IELTS exam. So thank you. Okay, you said noted. Thank you very much, Mr. Felix. Any other questions from any of our attendees again? If you have any questions, please reach out to us right now before we call it a day. We have 3 more minutes before the end of the session. Now, that reminds me, if you have any questions, if you are someone that wants to go to Canada, you want to relocate to Canada, and you are looking for a way to do that, you have the solution now. Our complete JAPA to Canada package can give you that opportunity. It can provide you with that opportunity to relocate to Canada. And as you could see on the screen, you can get started with the JAPA process by just subscribing to our complete JAPA to Canada package, which costs only 390,000, and that includes IELTS preparation. It includes TEF Canada preparation if you want to learn French and prepare for TEF Canada. It also provides you the opportunity to get pre and post application, you understand, services from us. And once I mean pre-application, I mean that before you even get invitation or before you get admission from a university or a college in Canada, we would work with you to actually get it. We would work with you to write a statement of purpose. We would work with you to get your proof of funds. You understand? We'll work with you to get your documentations right. And even after you get your admission or after you get you understand, your invitation to apply for permanent residency, which is known as ITA, or if you get the notification of interest, NOI, from a province or territory in Canada, after that, we will still work with you again to actually process your visa to Canada. Many immigration license consultants wouldn't do this. They just accept money from you to actually work on just one aspect, maybe pre-application. If you are to do the post-application, you pay another fee. Do you understand? But we are giving it to you for a token for 390,000 only for this particular time. And this offer is going to be available from now, which is the 28th of January 2023 up until the 31st of January 2023. After that day, this rate is not going to be available again. In fact, if we are to bring it up again, we may have to increase it from 390 to about 500 or even more. Do you understand? So it's not going to be this cheap again. This is the least amount. This is the cheap amount, the cheapest amount you can actually get it from us right now. And these are all the things that are in the JAPA Easy Fast Track Canada package. If you have any questions again, please let me know. We have few minutes to go. In fact, we are counting out on seconds. Oh, Mr. Sonny Adeoti, he said, I must say this session is impactful. I don't have prior knowledge on this before now, but with this session, I have been able to learn a lot. Thanks, Mr. Aziz. Thank you, Mr. Adeoti. I really appreciate that wonderful comment. That's what we are here for, basically. We are here to educate you about the process. We are here to make you know what it entails, and we are also here to render much more assistance than just this webinar. We also want to see how we could be involved in the process with you. We want to see, even if you want to work on it on your own, you can still go work on it on your own with this JAPA package. You can just get the training, and from the training do it yourself without even working, you understand, working together with us. Oh, Mr. Felix said, more so, my company process proof of funds for people planning to travel at a friendly rate. We could partner with. Okay, thank you for the knowledge. Okay, that's Mr. Felix. Oh, Mr. Felix, thank you very much for that comment. All right. With that being said, we call it a day today. We do hope you enjoyed this session, and we hope to see you in our next video series. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us, and we want to call it a day today. Lastly, if you have any questions, if you want to reach out to us privately even after this session, as I said, you could reach out to us on our website aosacademy.com or ftc.aosacademy.com, our online course website, or you can reach out to us through email admin@aosacademy.com or even ftc@aosacademy.com. And lastly, you can reach out to us on our phone numbers, either on WhatsApp, through text, or through call, +234-81-0771-4449, or you can reach out to us on our Canadian number +1-647-947-433-4399. Okay, thank you very much, and do have a lovely day ahead. Bye for now.